All right, and a very good evening to you. Many thanks indeed for joining us. This is Easy Friday on this day, the 13th day of May 2022.
My name is Shiksha, Arora. Remember, if you would like to get in touch with us on social media, please feel free to do so. The hashtag is Easy Friday at KBC Channel 1, at Shiksha Arora, at John_Kago_M. Find us, tell us where you're watching from, and we will definitely be giving you a shout out later on in the program. Remember, we've also got Spotlight coming up later on, featuring a very talented band, so make sure you stay for that. Also, we've got sports and business, but a very, very interesting lineup of events happening in the country
today. Absolutely, and leaders allied to the Wiper Democratic Movement are threatening to field its leader Kalonzo Musyoka as an independent candidate. This is if Kalonzo is not chosen as a running mate. We're looking at that as well. In the corridors of justice, the High Court is ordering that the contents of the SGR contract between the Kenyan and the Chinese government be made public. We're looking at that and much more. But first things first, these are the highlights.
Rewarding exemplary performance. President honors over 900 youth with demonstrated capabilities. Strategy. Kalonzo Musyoka promises to be in the ballot if not named Raila's running mate. And it is empty talks. Deputy President says Kenya Kwanza not keen on reviving BBI as Raila woos Kwale. All right, welcome back to Easy Friday. Our sign language interpreter is Anne Wangeshi, and the top story tonight. President Uhuru Kenyatta has underscored the role of the youth in the social development of the nation through their selfless acts.
Well, the head of state, who hosted 907 gold awardees of the President's Awards program at State House, Nairobi, commended the group for their resilience and being solution-oriented in the face of crisis.
For the first time, the program attracted 32 prison officers and inmates.
Friday at State House, Nairobi. The 2022 President's Award ceremony is underway, with 907 gold awardees receiving their certificates from President Uhuru Kenyatta. The awardees, part of the program that seeks to instill life skills and virtues to young people and equip them to make a difference in the society.
Nyeri women prisons.
The awards this year also incorporating 32 prison officers and inmates. President Uhuru Kenyatta hailing the young people for their selfless acts and devotion to service delivery.
Our young people are learning to find opportunities within crisis, to extend empathy and understanding, to care for and to protect the vulnerable, and to learn what servant leaders do within their communities.
It has been an enlightening experience. I feel so proud of this erstwhile scheme that helps young Kenyans to understand and appreciate the ideals of hard work, determination, consciousness, teamwork, respect, discipline, selflessness, and breaking the walls of negative ethnicity and all other vices.
To further boost the operations of the program, the head of state has increased the budgetary allocation from the current 5 million shillings to 50 million shillings annually.
Of our time, therefore, is to prepare the next generation of Kenyans with the skills, the attitude, the civic virtues, and the character required for their success as workers, entrepreneurs, family members, and citizens of our country.
It's only what you work for that is yours, and President's Award instills this in our children. So let this not be just a ceremony, but a nucleus towards a bigger thing which will lead to our people to think backwards.
Young people are social actors of change and progress. They form a crucial segment of a nation's development, and hence their contribution is highly needed. Our young people, therefore, should not only be treated as the leaders of tomorrow, but also as partners of today.
One of the awardees, Mary Wanjiku, an inmate at Langata Women's Prison, caught the ear of the president as she pleaded for her freedom. Wanjiku was convicted in 2013 for robbery with violence and was sentenced to 25 years in prison.
Weke power of mercy muone kama anaweza kusaidika. Jamani, everybody deserves a second chance. Ama ni namna gani?
The President's Award is a self-development program to all young people that aims at equipping them with positive life skills to make a difference for themselves, their communities, country, and the world. It was founded by Prince Philip in 1956 and launched in Kenya by former President Mzee Jomo Kenyatta in 1966. Nancy Okwari, Easy Friday.
All right, moving on.
All right, and leaders allied to Wiper Democratic Movement have threatened to field its leader Kalonzo Musyoka as an independent presidential candidate if the Raila Odinga-led Azimio party betrays him.
Now, the leaders, led by Kitui Senator Enoch Wambua, made the announcement as Kalonzo held a political rally in Taveta town amid simmering tension in Azimio Oka over the running mate's stalemate.
Kalonzo says the issue must be resolved amongst the President Uhuru Kenyatta, the Raila Odinga, and himself to forestall a major fallout within the coalition.
The political rally was also organized to drum up support for Wiper candidates in the county, including Governor Hopeful Dam Mwanzo, Senator Thomas Mwandegu, and host MP candidate John Bwire.
On Monday, all the presidential candidates wanapeleka majina ya their running mates. Kama jina la Azimio Kenya running mate atakuwa Kalonzo Musyoka, basi sisi kama wanachama tutapeleka jina ya running mate wa Kalonzo Musyoka.
Jana ilikuwa nchi jirani ya South Sudan, nikijaribu bado kuwashikanisha angalau waunde jeshi moja la kitaifa. Imagine Kenya, tunajua Kenya Defense Forces, lakini pale South Sudan kuna president mwenye jeshi lake, kuna first vice president mwenye jeshi lake, na mimi kazi yangu ni kuwashikanisha. Ndio mimi nasema jameni, kama Kalonzo anasaidia South Sudan, mwezaji kushindwa kumsaidia Raila?
Now, the Azimio la Umoja Coalition presidential nominee Raila Odinga is promising to address historical land injustices in Kwale County should he be elected president in the August 9th general election.
While speaking at Kalalani, Raila also promised locals that his administration will revive cashew farming and enhance industrialization to help boost the economy of that particular region.
Raila Odinga was in Kwale for his third-day tour of the coastal region, called on locals to support his bid and reap big from his administration. Raila saying Kwale County was in strategic place and has huge economic potential, ranging from the blue economy to minerals that, if well harnessed, will be able to wipe out poverty in the region.
Mara hii tunaleta mapinduzi ya kiuchumi, na hiyo itatoa sisi katika hali ya ufukara, na wale wengine ambao wanataka kuanzisha biashara tutaweka hazina mpya pale ambayo watakwenda na kukopesa pesa pale na kuanzisha biashara yao na walipi chochote mpaka baada ya miaka 7.
Raila committing to ensure accessibility, availability and affordable healthcare by introducing the Baba Care, a health insurance that brings on board all Kenyans.
Baba Care ni mpango ambayo itaweka kila Mkenya, watoto, akina mama, vijana na wazee ndani ya bima ya matibabu. Wale ambao hawezi kumudu ile premium, serikali itawalipia. Ili wakiwa wagonjwa wanapata matibabu hata kama hawana pesa.
Leaders were on his entourage calling on locals to make informed choices in the ballot for the betterment of their future.
Aliye na suluhisho za matatizo ya watu wa Pwani na watu wa Kinango ni Baba Raila Amolo Odinga. Ya kwanza kabisa, kwa miaka nenda miaka rudi, mama wa Kinango anabeba maji mgongoni. Mgongo umebeta, mgongo umeshindwa hata kubeba mimba. Ukibeba unakuwa na shida kwa sababu ya matatizo ya maji. Suluhisho liko na Baba Raila Odinga.
Baba anaelewa maslahi ya watu ambao wana shida. Yeye atapambana kuleta bei ya chakula chini.
Tukishirikiana na serikali ya Raila Amolo Odinga, tutahakikisha kwamba tunafufua uvuvi wetu, tunafufua utalii wetu, na tunafufua mifugo yetu ambayo imemalizwa na ukame.
As the country heads towards general elections come August, Azimio la Umoja presidential hopeful Right Honorable Raila Odinga has promised to address the historical land injustices in the coastal region and also take corruption head on if elected president come 9th August. Michael Mandiga for Easy Friday in Kinango, Kwale County.
Right, and Deputy President William Ruto now says the Kenya Kwanza coalition has no interest in reviving the Building Bridges initiative.
Responding to his critics who have accused him of plotting to bring back the BBI through the back door by creating the position of Chief Cabinet Secretary in the Kenya Kwanza power sharing deal, Ruto said the coalition will not spend taxpayers' money on a referendum.
Following the revelation of the details in the Kenya Kwanza Pact that would make ANC leader Musalia Mudavadi the Chief Cabinet Secretary, critics of Deputy President William Ruto have accused him of attempting to sneak changes sought through the impugned Building Bridges initiative despite opposing it. Friday, the Deputy President, while leading the Kenya Kwanza troops in Kasarani constituency in Nairobi, dismissed the allegations as baseless. Ruto says the coalition has no interest in reviving the constitutional changes debate, saying the monies meant for the referendum would be used by his administration to create employment.
Nyinyi watu wa kuzimia, wachaneni na mpango yetu. Sisi hatuna biashara na BBI. Nyinyi mulikuwa mnataka kutumia bilioni 50 ati kubadilisha katiba. Sisi tutawaonyesha vile ya kupanga serikali bila ya kuharibu pesa ya wananchi. Hatuna bilioni 50 ya kupanga kazi ya viongozi. Hiyo bilioni 40 ndio tutapanga ajira ya hawa vijana.
Ruto instead hit back at his opponents in Azimio, accusing them of preoccupying themselves with the Kenya Kwanza Pact, while their pact was still shrouded in secrecy.
Na nyinyi mnasema mambo ya UDA, nyinyi mnasema mambo ya Kenya Kwanza, ati mkataba wa Kenya Kwanza mbele nyuma. Wapi mkataba yenu ya kuzimia? Mkataba yenu inaandikwa usiku, inaandikwa wakati watu wamefungwa macho, na sasa haiwezi kupatikana. Hata wale waliandika hiyo mkataba yenu hawana nakala, wanalalamika saa hizi. Mambo yetu na nyinyi ni tofauti kama usiku na mchana. Yetu ni ya wazi, yenu ni ya giza.
Following Mamas by a section of leaders from Mount Kenya region led by former Kiambu Governor William Kago, the pact had not solidified the position of the vote-rich region in Ruto's government, the Deputy President assured his supporters that he would be keen to implement the one man, one vote, one shilling principle.
Kwa hivyo wacheni maneno, tutawaonyesha vile Kenya inaweza kupangwa bila ya kuharibu pesa ya wananchi. Na mimi nataka niwahakikishie Wakenya wote, hata ile ya one man, one shilling, one vote, tutaitekeleza bila ya kuharibu pesa kwa kubadilisha katiba.
Ruto says his track record sets him apart from his opponents, calling on area residents to support his bid.
Kura ya hasla hapa, nione kura ya hasla.
John Jacob Kuria, Easy Friday.
All right, now moving on to the scales of justice, where the High Court sitting in Mombasa has directed the government to make public the standard gauge railway SGR contract between Kenya and the Chinese governments.
Now, two petitioners have gone to the High Court arguing that the contract should be made public in line with the Access to Information Act of 2016.
Ruling by Justice John Mativo, the government is now required to disclose details of the SGR contract between Kenya and the Chinese government. Two petitioners had filed the case, arguing that in line with the Constitution, it was their right to know the fine prints of the multi-billion shillings rail project, especially from the Ministry of Transport. The court concurred with the petitioners, ruling that the government didn't provide sufficient basis on why the project's details should remain confidential. The court said that Kenyans have a right to know the assets used as collateral in securing the 326 billion SGR loan. Meanwhile, West Kenya Sugar Company has asked the Court of Appeal to dismiss an appeal filed by Gakwamba farmers that revoked the lease granted to Sarai Group Limited in leasing Mumia's Sugar Company. Through its lawyers, the sugar company says that the intended appeal is only meant to scuttle the steps being taken by the newly appointed administrator. For Prime Edition, I'm Lynn Chalo.
Right now, a political wrap. A women lobby group christened the Women Mediators Network has urged presidential candidates to select women as their running mates in the August 9th general elections.
Well, led by their patron, Dr. Jennifer Riria, the group under the umbrella of the Chagua Mama says giving women the number 2 slot will create inclusivity in leadership positions.
To now at this point in time,
with only 72 hours left from presidential candidates to forward names of their running mates to IEBC, a women lobby group warned the frontrunners in the race to consider women in their number 2 positions. The group, led by their patron, Dr. Jennifer Riria, said women are capable of taking leadership in elective, nominative and appointive positions in all sectors of the society and should be on the national cake sharing table.
Know that a woman is a woman wherever she is. Yes. A mother is a mother whether she comes from Wajir or Mombasa or Nairobi. Yes. So for us, we are saying, get us a woman. Yes. And we are happy. From there, we will deal with other things.
Stay. And we are here to say that the future is young people and the future is women. So get used to it, Kenya, and karibu sana, Chagua Mama. Chagua Mama.
Former Maendeleo ya Wanawake National Chairperson Dr. Zipora Kituni said the group will continue advocating for full integration of women and other special interest groups in the country to positions.
I want to remind the women that they are not different. They have to campaign with decorum, with dignity, and they are subjected to violence. But if they are smart, then they know how to do.
Elsewhere, Democratic African Party DAP Kenya has told off leaders allied to Kenya Kwanza over their alleged inclusion of Prime Cabinet Secretary position if they get to power. Devolution Cabinet Secretary Eugene Wamalwa, who is also the party's patron, says the projected positions by Kenya Kwanza was part and parcel of the Building Bridges initiative, which some leaders opposed.
Know that the problem our brothers and friends in the Kenya Kwanza have is that perhaps they don't say what they mean and they don't mean what they say. Because if they are talking about opposing BBI because of creation of positions, and they themselves are creating the same positions, then really, fellow Kenyans, can we trust these fellows? Everything they are telling us, when given the opportunity, they might turn around and say, okay, that's not what we meant.
Wamalwa spoke Friday when those seeking gubernatorial seats in the counties of Migori, Kisii, Busia and Trans Nzoia unveiled their deputies.
We needed to expand the political space, and with the expansion of the political space, we were able to also expand the economic opportunities to our people, so we can grow the GDP of this country to a new level.
Frederick Moki for Easy Friday.
All right, and with that, it's time for us to take our first commercial break, but we will be back in just a moment. Don't go too far.
All right, back in a moment.
Kupata lazima nishike kama skiza tune yako. Bonyeza *811 *962 hash.
Lazima nishike mapema. Nisiposhika hii simu mapema utakasirika. Unajua mimi nikiwa mtu ya marathon najua niko na experience kabisa. Niko na experience. If you don't hurry, you will not break the record. Okay, wacha nishike hii simu.
Kupata lazima nishike, bonyeza *811 *962 hash. *811 *962 hash.
You've heard of them. They need your vote. The debate coming soon.
Najua wewe umezoea stress mpaka shida zimemea kwako.
Sisi tunaanza matusi hapa, sawa?
Mzee, nilitamani sana tushughulikie kitu.
Hapo kamzee ni babangu na utamwadress na heshima from now henceforth. Good morning Jane, mamkaji.
Umetuma gari mafuta mpaka kutoka Nairobi mpaka hapa. Kuja kuniambia mambo ya familia.
Ya watu ufanye DNA, tujue kama ni wa mzee wako ama si wa mzee wako.
Kwa sababu huku ni kwangu nafanya vile nataka. Kwanza hata hizi gasi unakunywa hapa.
Tulizaliwa kitambo.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how angry is Mama Jane?
13.
Welcome back to Easy Friday. The National Cohesion and Integration Commission will establish regional centers across the country to allow citizens to report any emerging electoral issues.
NCIC says that the centers will not only bring the Commission's presence closer to the people, but will also serve as communication centers.
Well, this even as the NCIC, in partnership with the European Centre for Electoral Support, launched the Pro Peace Kenya project aimed at promoting peace and cohesion in the country.
According to the National Cohesion and Integration Commission Chairman, Reverend Dr. Samuel Kobia, the partnership will help establish regional centers across the country to allow citizens report any emerging electoral issues.
Of monitoring various media outlets and ensure no hate speech is propagated to inspire violence with impunity. As we all know, the social media space has become a dangerous tool for hate mongers and disinformation propagandists. Social media's wide use.
Kobia noted that the partnership is born out of the realization that no one institution can guarantee the peace and prosperity of Kenyans without seeking partnerships and synergies.
No doubt, together we will achieve elections bila norma this year and beyond. This is my firm belief and as a commission, our collective commitment.
EU representatives said Kenyan people should contribute to peaceful, credible and transparent elections, even as they called on all stakeholders to ensure a peaceful election come August 9th.
ECES will continue to maintain its commitment towards supporting the deepening of democratic processes, especially in countries that have experienced or are at risk of violence across elections. We know that peace is an important ingredient for the success of any given electoral process, and hence the importance of such program like the one today called Pro Peace Kenya, Election Bila Noma.
We need to help and support Kenya in this process, and make sure that we continue to stay on this path. Not just because we want it for Kenya, but we need it also for the region, in a very troubled region with many countries in the region that are still grappling with democracy and elections. We need to be able to say Kenya is able to do peaceful elections, and when you do that, you actually continue on the path of development.
Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i, in a speech read on his behalf by Interior Secretary Wilson Jenga, urged all stakeholders to work together to not only deliver a peaceful election, but also maintain peace and security in the country.
First, we need conflict prevention and disruption. Intensive and targeted forms of prevention are needed if the risks of violence are to be reduced. This strategy will ensure the collection and transmission of conflict early warning information in real time to facilitate timely and adequate rapid response. Secondly, citizens' empowerment. The whole society, including women, youth, men and children, will be adequately empowered to play their optimal role as active agents of peace. Efforts will be made to improve the capacity of communities to resist manipulation and shun perpetration of violence. Thirdly, we have trust building. Trust within a society as well as between the society and the...
Pro-Peace Kenya project aims at increasing understanding, tolerance, trust and peaceful coexistence among Kenyans. Beatrice Getonyanga-Tich, Easy Friday.
All right, now Kenyans continue to heavily rely on social media to share their grievances, views, and their best moments, better illustrated with memes.
And by the way, meme sharing has become a culture that is not only deep-rooted in the hearts of many Kenyans, but have gone ahead to develop a Kenyan dictionary.
This week, we focus on the events that have taken shape in the country and Kenyans' reactions online.
Kenyans never fail to impress, and this week I have made it my sole purpose to shed light into our country's weekly drama. Kenyan Dictionary, a guide to understanding Kenyans. A country that deeply relies on memes has a coping mechanism. Maybe netizens can try to help us understand one of our own. Right Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. After attending the interview, he publicly vowed not to. Peter tweeted, "I will be the biggest fool in the world to support Raila. I have said, Raila Tosha. I want to leave Azimio. I am not leaving. I will never attend Raila running mate interview. I am now attending the interview." Wow. Nick said, "I will not attend the interview, has attended the interview." Who even trusts Man Steve-O anymore? And when Kalonzo said in his defense that this was a conversation, Almami tweeted in response, "This is not a conversation. This is an interview. You were interviewed. Stop giving this another name." KOT posted a picture on the matter that says, "Ask around. I don't have shame." But he is not the only one who decided to choma picture this week. Moses Wetangula and his alleged shoes had Kenyans zooming in on his picture to confirm if what they were seeing is true. Ondimu tweeted, "Pin your address, we send you shoe polish." Amina, earth is hard. Laughing emoji. For other keyboard warriors, this photo of trying hard not to laugh sums it all up. But the drama doesn't end there. Wajakoya's running mate has puzzled Kenyans when she said she will smoke weed during swearing in if they won the election. Frederick tweeted, "I think she has already smoked it. Look at her eyes." Laughing emoji. Dennis, "I like the confidence. You are hired." On the latest UK ruling, calling men bald at work is considered sexual harassment in UK, and Kenyans have not hesitated to jump on these already. Kasuku says, "Hii ruli kuje Kenya." Laughing emoji. Vincent tweeted, "Kuita mtu kihara ni kitu ya kukasirikia." Ai. Anyway, meaning you can't go a day in this country without using this phrase, because one thing about Kenya, hii nchi itakuonyesha mambo. Loosely translated, this country will show you things. Well, this is a keyboard warrior nation with a woke generation, and we decided Kenya Sihami. For Easy Friday, I am Teresa Mutai.
What an interesting piece.
Absolutely. At that point, that's why we say, where?
I was actually going to just say that. Moving on. Drought has had a negative impact on the country. And of course, we've seen this time and again in arid and semi-arid counties bearing the brunt of diseases.
Well, at Sarah Sub-County in Tana River County, the situation is devastating, with many children below 5 years suffering malnutrition.
In the third and final part of our features series, Nipping the Bud, Ruth Wamboi now focuses on the relationship between climate change and health. Take a look.
Malnutrition is a condition characterized by deficiencies, excesses or imbalances in a person's intake of energy and nutrients needed to maintain healthy tissues or organ function. In Sarah Sub-County, the population is undernourished, a situation caused by the ongoing drought.
Ujui ukame itaisha muda gani. Sasa wengine hata mfugo yao imeisha.
According to Mzee Ashako Dakuta, women and children are the most affected, with some dying along the way.
Kina mama wanakosa chakula, hata wale watoto wanazaliwa pengine hawakui na nguvu. Ndio watu wa hospitali wanatusaidia kupatia malnutrition, kupatia biskuti na uji, ndio watoto wanaendelea kukua.
This mother has brought her child for the routine progress checkup for malnutrition. After the nurse assesses, her measuring mid-upper arm circumference is 11.3 centimeter for the arm, 86 centimeter for height, which indicates the child is still under the danger zone of malnutrition. A situation which replicates on other children brought here.
Wakati ilikuwa nimeanza maziwa ng'ombe ndio akaanza kuhara na kutapika. Madaktari wakapewa madawa na wakaweka program. Na mpaka sasa bado hajapona bado.
If a child's vital measurement stands at red and yellow lines, it means the child is still under the danger zone. But when it crosses to the green line, it means the child's health is good and on track.
The fact that we have hung around, you find that the supplements that we give, like when you give SFP, that is the plumbinats, you find that these are children, the other children who are not affected, who are not malnourished, also invade. So the prescribed criteria for taking these sachets is reduced.
The dangers of malnutrition in children includes poor growth vertically and horizontally. Low IQ synthesis responsible for enriching the brain cells are left untouched. Low immunity leading to diseases prevalence.
Kwa sababu wamegonjeka sasa na maziwa kupea maziwa hakuna siku hizi.
Most children, however much we give them these supplements, but there are certain other comorbidities.
The hunger situation in the area is making families feed on supplements meant for malnourished individuals. And as Ben Clifford Gala, a nursing officer at Sarah Dispensary, explains, this will pose another health crisis in the area.
But from our experience, we found out that most children who are put on this program usually take a lot of water. But children who are well nourished, when they take this thing, they don't take a lot of water. But see, water is only responsible for clearing any toxic waste that is left into the system. So when the system, the toxins are accumulated into the system, you find that kidney failure may set in, liver failure may set in. So organ failures, multiple organ failures may be experienced due to the fact that these toxins are not washed away by use of excess water.
Communities around Sarah sublocation have been advised to disregard myths that malnutrition is witchcraft and bring their children below 5 years to health centers as soon as possible. According to the World Health Organization, around 45% of deaths among children under 5 years of age are linked to undernutrition, which mostly occur in low and middle-income countries. On 1st April 2016, the UN General Assembly proclaimed 2016 to 2025 the United Nations Decade of Action on Nutrition. It set a concrete timeline for implementation of the commitments made at the Second International Conference on Nutrition to meet a set of global nutrition targets and diet-related targets by 2025. But where are we as a country towards achieving these?
This is work in progress because these global targets or the World Health Assembly global nutrition targets, it's up to 2025. But don't forget, we also have the Sustainable Development Goal 2030 because Kenya is a signatory to the global commitment for elimination of malnutrition. The government has been implementing several interventions from the policy level up to the operational level. The vulnerable families are getting from cash transfer is also translated to impacting on nutrition, especially for children under 2 years, pregnant and lactating women.
Reporting for Prime Edition from Tana River County, I'm Ruth Wamboy.
Now, long before the advent of a modern judicial system, different communities in Kenya had devised traditional ways of pushing wayward members.
And in this way of punishing, how did the Abaluya community punish those found to be, or rather to have committed a murder? This week on My Culture, Jackie Wambiru brings us Hushola, the process of banishing traditionally convicted murderers.
At Abutere village, Kakamega County, residents have converged at one of the homesteads. This is after 3 houses and 2 vehicles were allegedly set ablaze, while plants and crops were intentionally destroyed. This erupted after one of the neighbors knowingly grazed his goat at his neighbor's farm. When the owner of the farm found the tethered goat, he impounded the same and took it to his compound. It is then that the owner of the goat went to inquire on the whereabouts of his goat, only for an argument to erupt, leading to a scuffle and one of them hitting the other with a jembe, allegedly killing him on the spot.
Wakapigana hapo ndio aliweza kumpiga huyo mwenye alikuwa mwenye mbuzi na akawa ameanguka chini na hapo hivyo ndio alisirai na akakufa.
After family members learned their kin had been killed, they allegedly stormed the suspect's homestead and set ablaze the homestead.
Sasa sisi kama wenye hapa hatukuwa na uwezo, hatukuwa na nguvu, na tuliweza tu kusimama kando kwa sababu hatungeweza kuingiana na hawa kuanza kufurukana nao kwa sababu walikuwa na hasira sana.
Na wakichoma manyumba yako watakatakata hata miti, wakipata hapo ng'ombe watakatakata, na wewe ng'ombe wakikatakata wanakata tu nyama yake, wanaenda na ngozi hawatengenezi, wanakata tu hao watu. Wanauanga, wanaua kila kitu ambayo wamepata kwa boma, wana destroy everything. Na wanafanyanga hivyo kwa sababu ya kurevenge kwa ule maisha ambayo huyo mtu amepoteza. Na walikuwa wanafanya hivyo na wanafanya hivyo ili vijana wakuwe wakijua kwamba ukiua mtu, kuchukua maisha ya mtu ama kuua mtu ni vibaya.
Meanwhile, at Ikolomani, Kakamega County, 2 Nyumba Kumi members visited a homestead of a suspected thief, only to arrive and find him armed. The suspect then hacked one of them to death, while the one who escaped alerted the neighbors, who then stormed his homestead and allegedly set the homestead ablaze.
So the public came rowdy, and they went to the homestead of the suspect and they torched the house.
According to elders, the practice of banishment from the community dubbed Kusola is invoked in the event one takes the life of another person or they are considered murderers, which means they are seen as unclean and as such they should not share any more meals with the rest of the community members, adding that the practice is meant to deter others from committing crime.
Akiruti kukaa hapo hata kuwa na maisha yake itakuwa mafupi, yeye pia atawawa kwa panga, kwa sababu mwenye kuua kwa panga atawawa na panga.
The elders add that in some situations, the suspect is forced to sell his land and the children advised to live with their uncles.
Kwa kwenda kama umeua bibi yake, sheria inasema ya kwamba wataenda kuishi uchombani, lakini hiyo shamba ni lazima wauze.
In some instances, if the person who commits murder is caught, he can be killed by an angry mob on revenge mission.
Kwa mkono, amwezi ruti mkakulia pamoja, mpaka ukuje uombe msamaha mbele ya wazee. Ukishaomba mbele ya wazee msamaha, wataleta dawa mtakunywa wote, alafu muendelee kushirikiana pamoja kama mandugu, kama hajakufa. Lakini ukipata ya kwamba wewe umekata ndugu yako, umemtoa damu, alafu unarudi unaanza kukula na yeye, tena utapata hiyo damu itamwandama. Ndio maana hata kwa Biblia vile Kain aliua Abel, damu ya Abel ilianza kulia. Mungu akauliza, wapi ndugu yako? Kain akasema sijui mahali haka. Akasema lazima uchunge ndugu yako. Ndio maana hata sisi Waluya tunasema ya kwamba maisha ya ndugu yako ni yako.
The elders add that despite practicing Christianity, there are things the community must do traditionally. Individuals who participate in banishment from the community dubbed Kusola are cleansed by drinking herbs and keep watch to ensure the person who committed murder does not sneak back into the village.
Anapeana tawa kwa wale ambao wamefanya hiyo solo, kuangalia hiyo poma, mtu asiruti tena. Huyo mwenye aliua mwingine asiruti kuishi pale, wakunywe maji moja kwa mtoni moja, aende mbali kabisa.
Boresha maisha na bima. Maisha hayatabiriki, huenda kukawa na panda shuka. Iwapo utashindwa kulipia bima yako malipo ya kila mwezi, usiwe na wasiwasi. Zungumza na kampuni inayokupa huduma za bima ili ubadilishe bima yako kuwa bima iliyolipiwa tayari. Hutahitajika kuendelea kulipa malipo ya kila mwezi, japo kampuni inayokupa huduma za bima bado itawajibika kukulipa faida unayostahili katika chaguo hili. Pata bima ili kuhakikisha yote yatakuwa sawa.
Good evening to you. Thank you for keeping it easy Friday tonight on KBC Channel 1. Time to do the business news. My name is Betty Kiptum. Now, the government is finalizing on modalities meant to allow millers import maize to reduce and stabilize flour prices. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya says an exercise to assess the available maize stocks in the country is ongoing, but initial reports indicate that there is need to import maize as the current stocks are insufficient.
Kenyans will have to contend with high maize flour prices for the next 45 days, when the first consignment of maize imports is expected to be shipped into the country. Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya says millers will be given a green light to import maize in the next few days in efforts to reduce the price of maize and flour. Munya blames the current maize shortage in the country on hoarding by farmers in anticipation of better prices and increased maize exports to Southern Sudan and the Democratic Republic of the Congo.
Prices we already looked for are already there. We don't sell now. We don't sell that maize now. Kwa hiyo utajikuta bei inaenda chini. When you are maize there. So don't be greedy, sell the maize now. The prices have never been there.
The maize is expected to be imported from outside the continent, with the government saying countries within the region, including Tanzania and Uganda, where Kenya sources maize from, are also experiencing shortages.
The problem is there is no maize. If it was there, then the prices would be realistic. There is a shortage of maize in this region because of the drought that was there and also other markets that came out.
Meanwhile, The government has ruled out importation of powder milk, saying prices will reduce drastically within the next 2 weeks due to the onset of the long rains.
But the rains are already here. The rains are already here. Milk production is now improving. I have this information from the dairy board and from the new KCC and others that the production is going up.
This is despite Munya saying he will investigate claims that the state-owned New Kenya Cooperative Creameries is in the process of sending some of its workers on compulsory leave due to lack of milk to process that has seen it operate below capacity. Benson Rioba for Easy Friday.
Now, Kenya and Netherlands have embarked on a project aimed at supporting sustainable fishing in Lake Turkana. The initiative will help in restocking the lake, which is facing a bleak future due to overfishing and undersized fishing. Turkana County Governor Josephat Nanok has said the study will also help in setting up a multi-million fish market in the region.
Lake Turkana, the world's largest permanent desert lake and home to the world's largest population of Nile crocodiles, hippos and more than 20 fish species, is facing its biggest survival battle yet. Overfishing, pollution and undersized fishing are threatening to wipe out the lake this century, according to environmental experts. The lake, which supports more than 250,000 indigenous people directly, is a major player in the region's socio-economical landscape. Kenya and the Netherlands have embarked on a study that will help address the challenges facing the lake. The economic analysis on Lake Turkana will help come up with the best ways to support the lake's delicate ecosystem and the surrounding communities, as well as improve food nutrition in the area.
This is an assessment which we had discussed 6-7 months ago with the ambassador and agreed that the Dutch government is going to support Turkana, do that assessment of Lake Turkana so that we can see what potentialities we have in the fish industry and how we can be able to exploit it, bringing into focus the private sector, but also government and development partners to support that effort.
Dutch Ambassador to Kenya Martin Brouwer says the study is coming at a critical time when climate change is also threatening the existence of the world's largest desert lake.
The analysis shows, as the governor already said, that there is potential. So what we would like to do now is just to get some extra considerations in to see whether it would be feasible really to set up a program of cooperation to strengthen the fisheries sector here in Turkana and in Marsabit.
Experts say any negative impacts to the lake's ecosystem is likely to disrupt the local economy, leading to an increase in conflicts in the highly volatile area. Reporting for Easy Friday, I am Duta Mukami.
Thank you, Nduta Mukami, for that report. Now, Kenya's county budget transparency has improved in the last 3 years, with a transparency survey showing that publicly available documents were up 42% in 2021. However, public participation and the feedback process are still low in most counties.
The survey evaluated 3 key budget documents, namely annual development plans, county fiscal strategy papers, and approved program-based budgets. The survey shows the level of public participation remains low, which is affecting priority development areas in most counties. When the survey started in 2015, 20 counties had no budget documents publicly available, but that has reduced in 2021, with only 2 counties failing to publish the documents. In the 2019-2020 fiscal year, there was an 8% increase in public participation, while the same went up in the year 2020-2021 budgeting cycle by 2%. Budgeting documents publicly available were up to 40% in 2020 and 42% in 2021. The annual report shows the counties are not consistent in making budget information publicly available. Kirinyaga, Bomet and Wajir counties improved in making their budget process public, while Laikipia, Marsabit and Tharaka Nithi deteriorated. The leading counties in making budgetary information more open are Nyeri with 72%, West Pokot with 71%, and Elgeyo Marakwet with 69%. Kipkorir Biegon, Assistant Programs Officer at County Budget Transparency Survey, says counties are becoming more transparent in publishing budget documents, but the pace is too slow.
Counties are becoming more transparent, and so they are providing more information, but the pace is too slow. Or counties should be able to find ways where they can be able to improve the level of information on public participation, especially on feedback and finding ways on impact, provide feedback to the citizens.
Nyeri Governor Mutahi Kahiga has said counties should implement programs that ensure public participation.
Let us do public participation, but let us not stop at that. Let us also get a feedback, because that is something I've picked that we are not really getting. We promise to go and work hard, make programs that we can receive feedback.
Counties have been challenged to publish their budget documents in a timely manner and provide ways to improve the level of public participation and feedback to the citizens. Although counties are sharing information on budgetary allocation, public feedback has been found lacking. This has prompted the need to involve more citizens. Reporting for Easy Friday, I am Teresa Mutai.
Now, the tourism sector has received a major boost following the arrival of 300 tourists from India. Kenya Tourism Board termed the visit as a strong endorsement of the country's resilience to the impact of the pandemic, as well as a fast step toward restoring the confidence of Indian travelers in the destination. Details of these and other stories from the corporate scene.
Kenya had in 2021 imposed restrictions on travelers from India after the country was worst hit by the COVID-19 Delta variant. However, travel restrictions were lifted after a decline in the spread amid intense vaccination drives.
But many more destinations also have incentive travelers looking for destinations such as Kenya to come and enjoy. And as we look forward to tourism recovery, there's a lot more in terms of segments that KTB and Kenya in general can look into in terms of diversifying our markets.
While receiving the first group of travelers at the Nairobi National Park, Kenya Tourism Board termed the visit as a strong endorsement of the country's resilience to the impact of the pandemic, as well as a first step towards restoring the confidence of Indian travelers to the destination.
There are new ways of doing things, and the new ways would continue to emerge, and we need to have that culture of taking those new into applications locally here.
Meanwhile, UK Kenya Tech Hub and digital innovation firm Hala have launched an exchange program to bolster partnerships between corporates and startups in Kenya to create market-responsive products. The pilot phase of the program is being conducted in Nairobi for a period of 3 months. Finally, maize and sorghum farmers in Busia County are staring at low yields and massive losses over the invasion of striga weed in their farms.
Tunaopanda tu sorghum, mawele, alafu pia upande mahindi, kabla hata ianze kutoa kichwa unapata kwamba imeathirika kabisa. Na kayongo huwa inaanzia ni kama mizizi yake iko chini sana. Na wakati mahindi inaposonga haiwezi kuonekana, lakini mahindi ikisonga karibu futi karibu 2 hivi 3 hivi, basi ndio unaanza kuona matokeo. Maana hata kama umeweka mbolea kiasi gani au aina gani ambazo ziko ambazo tunatumia, mara nyingi utapata kwamba hii weed kayongo inaharibu kabisa.
Alex Mukana, a farmer in Nambale, disclosed that initially he used to harvest 15 bags of maize, but since the weed invaded his farm, the harvest has drastically dropped to below 5 bags despite using farmyard manure and other fertilizers.
Na mtu kwa eka moja unaweza amepata gunia moja ambayo ni hasara sana kwetu sisi wakulima, na tunaumia, na ni ombi ya kwamba kama kuna yeyote ule ambaye angeweza kutusaidia kama wakulima tunufaika katika mambo ya ukulima, tutashukuru sana.
They are appealing to the government to provide them with pesticides and avert the looming crisis. Regina Manya reporting for Prime Edition.
Well, that's all we had for you for the business news this evening. But of course, Karen Kibet is standing by on the other side of the studio to bring you the latest in the sports arena. Do have yourself a good night. My name is Betty Kiptum. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Betty, for keeping us up to speed with the latest in the world of business. Let's now shift gears to sports. My name is Karen Kibet. Now, the Sports Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohamed has appointed a 12-member transition committee that takes over from the FKF Caretaker Committee. Meanwhile, Team Kenya captain Lucas Wandia lived up to his billing by defending his men's 3,000-meter steeplechase title in the ongoing Deaflympics Championships in Brazil.
The new development comes after the FKF Caretaker Committee's mandate lapsed on Tuesday. Retired Justice Aaron Ringera will once again head the body that shall hold office for 5 weeks. Other members include Maurice Oyugi, Bobby Ogola, Nendi Atieno, JJ Masiga, Mwangi Muthe, television journalist Linda Ogutu, Robert Toskin, KBC sports journalist Maxwell Wasike, and veteran coach Richard Shedu. Meanwhile, the national women's handball team will be out to contest for the bronze in the 2021 Deaflympics, going on at the Cassius do Sul after they went down 31-8 to Denmark.
It was the first time for the handball, but however, we had a World Championship in 2018 and we became number 5. And now we've come number 6 in the Deaflympics, and I've seen through it, we've really improved on that.
Elsewhere, Team Kenya captain Lucas Wandia lived up to his billing by defending his men's 3,000 meter steeplechase title. Wandia clocked 9 minutes 29 seconds, while compatriot Kenyan Omari Kokobi settled for bronze in 9 minutes 30 seconds. Alexander Bley of Germany crossed the line second, taking 9 minutes 25 seconds.
Okay, so we had planned. We had some secrets which we discussed that for the 400, we did our speed work, 400 twice, 300 2 times, and then we had planned that we were going to increase our speed on the 400, and on the 300 we were going to maintain the same speed. But we saw that one of us was injured and we lost, yes, but we can say that it's okay because whether we lose or we win, we are here to support everyone.
It is a very good thing that Kenya has actually played internationally. It has participated in these games, and it is not something we can take for granted. And I want to thank the CS Amina for job well done. It's commendable, and our team for ensuring that the PWDs are not left behind, and especially the deaf.
Finally, 6 Kenyan pugists have been bundled out of the ongoing IBA Women's World Champions in Istanbul, Turkey. They are light middleweight Lorna Kusa, minimum weight Christine Ongari, flyweight Anne Wanjiru, featherweight Beatrice Akov, middleweight Elizabeth Akinyi, and light welter Teresia Wanjiru. The remaining 4 in the highly competitive tournament are bantamweight Amina Matha, lightweight Stacey Ayoma, welterweight Evelyn Akinyi, and light heavyweight Liz Adiego. Gold medalist will take home 10 million shillings, silver medalist 5 million shillings, and bronze medalist 2.5 million shillings. Over 1,000 boxers from 93 countries are fighting for 10 gold, 20 silver, and 40 bronze medals in the 2 weeks showpiece. For Easy Friday Sports, I'm Daniel Mwendwa.
Thank you, Dan, for that detailed report. Moving on, Kakamega Homeboys are targeting to win the remaining matches so as to back their maiden Kenya Premier League title. Elsewhere, Chelsea and Liverpool will meet in the final for the second time this season, having played for the first time in Carabao Cup final in February, and will now face off in the FA Cup final on Saturday. And that's all the sports stories we had for you tonight. Have yourself a peaceful night, but the broadcast is not yet over, as Shiksha Arora has an amazing interview tonight on Spotlight. My name is Karen Kibet.
Right, and it brings us to the end of the bulletin.
Yep, the very first part, the spotlight, as Karen rightly puts it, coming up, and it's a musical evening in the studio.
Oh yes, we've got
strings. I can hear some strings in the background. What's happening today?
We've got a band.
Today? Yep.
And they are known as Afajiri.
Afajiri.
Very talented. They're vocalists. You know, they play instruments. And I have to say, I'm really looking forward to hearing them do their thing.
Yep.
You can already hear the guitar a little bit. Maybe they can go a little louder.
Yeah, absolutely. Just carry on then.
Or just wait for it.
Yeah, all right. Cool. And I hope that you sing you some birthday songs. It's your birthday in the next couple of hours.
My birthday soon, tomorrow, 14th of May.
Happy birthday in advance.
Thank you, Kago. I was waiting for a gift, but it's fine.
Yeah, let the day get 9, then we talk about it.
Do you know you're seeing this on national television, so I want to call you out next week if I don't get a gift from you.
We will definitely get you a birthday gift.
Okay.
Right, cool.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. My name is John Kago. Good evening, so long.
Welcome back to Easy Friday. My name is Shiksha, Arora, and with me I've got two very talented individuals. They are known as Afajiri. Together we've got Brandon and Paul. And I have to say that, you know, these guys, I've been listening to them rehearsing, practicing, and just basically doing their thing low-key in the corner. I'm already liking what I'm hearing. And I have to really just introduce them to you before further ado, and then we'll start talking. So let's get them to do what they do best. Gentlemen, are you ready?
Very ready. Very ready.
All right.
Naona jua inang'aa, machoni mwako furaha, na bado mina shangaa, iweje umesahau ulizaliwa leo. Leo ni siku yako ya happy, tuitangaze kwa redio. Walo vimandazi, vibating, vibanzi, mama ameandaa chajio. Tupige mapicha leo, uzee unabisha umefika, yeah. Wakisha puliza leo, Mungu akutunuku vyote utakavyo. Happy birthday to you, yeah. Happy birthday to you. Leo ni siku yako na snap vid. Happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday, leo. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I honestly appreciate that. That was so sweet. Thank you so much. I heard that you guys were having that. They were having that conversation, so you probably overheard that, right?
Yeah.
Let's listen to a song, and then we get back and we'll talk about, you know, your journey in the musical industry. All right?
Okay.
So we'll be back soon. Don't go too far. And that's the song cue by Afajiri right here on Easy Friday. I'm Shiksha, Arora. With me, we've got the band Afajiri, Paul and Brandon. You know, thank you so much for the birthday song. I really appreciate it. And I loved your track. I know you've got 7 of them.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What's your favorite? Maybe you can demonstrate and maybe you can sing to us your absolute favorite track.
I think my favorite is the one we did with Kidum, but I don't know about him because
me, my favorite. Q.
It has to be this one.
Yeah.
So maybe then now you can perform the one that you did with Kidum.
Kidum?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go for it.
Moyo nagonga tena mbio, mwili joto ishapanda inachomana hema, nijibu ndio sio, nijue kama penzi lako inachosha. Ikiwa una tatizo sema, oh baby, maana kidunia mviringo. Kumbuka zile I love you, hey, I need you, baby. Uliondoka kwangu kimajabu. Hey girl, I swear I don't lie. I was when you were, cause where's songa, look into my eyes. I don't lie. Where was when you were, komisiondoki mami. I don't lie. Was when you were, cause where's songa, look into my eyes. I don't lie. Where was when you were, komisiondoki mami. Oh, siondoki. Oh, miss Yondoki now. Oh, miss Yondoki. I don't lie. Why lie? wanaonifuata ni wengi, niamini kweli, ila nifuate wengine ya nini? Kwa nini baby? Ni mwaminifu kanisa kwa waumini baby, kwa yote tisa ya kusema I love you, hey, I need you, hey. Kutoka kwako ni majabu, hey, majabu, hey. Kumbuka sinema I love you, hey, I need you, hey. Uliondoka kwangu kimajabu, hey, I need you, oh.
Woo! Absolutely love it. Well, you have sweet voices. I love the fact that, you know, such soulful songs, the melody is beautiful, but what I really liked is the lyrics. You guys are songwriters as well, right?
Yeah, we are
Did you write the lyrics of the song?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we wrote the lyrics of the song. Actually, the version we play now is a bit different. Yeah.
Okay. It's like an acoustic.
Yeah, it's like an acoustic version.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. What's the process that you go through when it comes to like songwriting, you know, the lyrics of songs? Does it have to be inspired by real life experiences, situations, or it's just one random day you wake up and you're like, let's talk about love?
We just vibe. Let's say maybe I can come with the melodies maybe. Yeah, and there's like words and stuff like that.
Right, then you put it together.
Then we put together.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but sometimes we write according to experiences.
Yes.
Like let's say we can have a friend who's going through something.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, this guy is heartbroken. So you're like, let's write something for someone who is heartbroken. So sometimes,
Really?
Yeah.
So it basically depends on like, you know, things that you pick up around you, your friends, you know, the spaces that you go into. Interesting.
Yeah.
Have you ever like disagreed on lyrics and you're like, okay, I want to do this and you want to do this. What do we do next?
Yeah, it's normal. It's part of the creative process. Yeah, you have to disagree to agree. But at the end of the day, what matters is having a good song,
a quality song.
Yes.
Yeah. With perfect lyrics that people can understand, or people can relate with.
Yes, it's very important to be relatable. As I said, you know, real life experiences. As you mentioned that your friend was going through something, so you picked it up. And like heartbreak is just so relatable. Everybody has gone through heartbreak at some point in their lives. So that's nice. The two of you got together during COVID. Right? Alfajiri was
before COVID.
Just before.
Just before COVID. I think a year before COVID.
Okay. How did COVID disrupt everything for you guys? Because you were just getting into the business, you had just formed, you know, the band, and then COVID happened. How did it shake things up for you?
It did shake things. A lot for us, and I don't think it's just for us. I think for every other artist.
Everyone.
For every other artist that's out there. COVID really changed things because we had gigs like I think every weekend. But but when COVID hit, I think that changed. That really changed. I think now after COVID hit, everyone was like, wow, we can't have gigs, we can't release songs, because you are releasing a song but then you don't have the budget to do
a video
and everything, and to market it, because you don't have shows to fund that. So COVID really affected everyone.
And now, have things gotten better?
Yeah, things are picking up.
Have you guys gone back to your groove?
Yeah, things are picking up now.
Nice. What are some of your, hopes in future in terms of Alfajiri? What are some of the things that you hope to do? Some collabos maybe that you would love to do with fellow artists?
Maybe outside Kenya.
Maybe
outside Kenya.
Really? Outside Kenya? No Kenyan artists that you want to collabo with?
We have collabos with Kenyan artists.
There is sun.
Ninja, like it's outside.
Outside East Africa.
Yeah, but we have collabos with Kenyan artists. Actually, we have one that's coming up in a few weeks' time. I won't say.
Give us an exclusive.
I won't say we've done it with, but it's coming up in a few weeks' time.
Wow, you tell me off air. It's okay. So tell me something. When you guys were growing up, what did you study? Did you always know that you wanted to do music, or is this something that happened one random day and you're like, maybe I should be a musician? Or you always knew this is what I want to do?
We all went to school by there. We all went to school. For me, I have a finance degree by there. Yeah, I have a finance degree.
Okay, that's interesting.
So we all went to school, but at the end of the day, you do what your heart loves.
Yes, I like that. You follow where your heart is taking you.
Yeah. So we all went to school, but at the end of the day, just like I've said, you do what your heart loves.
And you love music.
More than anything.
More than anything.
Is it hard to sustain yourselves just as a band, as a musician, as a songwriter, or you find yourself sometimes doing side hustles just to make sure that you have enough income to invest in your art?
For me, I think music pays.
Yeah, music pays.
Yeah, music pays. Yeah, music pays.
Actually, the first artist who said that.
Yeah,
because,
it's a career. It's a career. It's just a career like any other. Yeah, it's just a career like any other.
Because in Kenya, exactly, in Kenya, I feel, sometimes we always have that situation where you're like, I have to do something else. I have to go out there. I have to do this. I have to do that just to sustain myself. So how have you managed to keep afloat? If I'm being honest
apart
with you.
from singing and recording music, we also songwrite. We write for other artists. We write for other artists. We've written a lot of songs.
And then there are shows that
there are shows,
I'm happy. I'm very happy to hear that you said that music is not just a talent.
It's
an actual career. Well done. And I hope if you are listening and you were an aspiring musician, a songwriter, here's some inspiration for you right here. They're motivating you to actually go out there and follow your dreams, right?
We also write jingles
Oh, wow.
for companies.
Interesting.
So
there's so many things
it's a big
you
industry.
do, but around music.
Yeah, around music.
Okay. Okay. Any female artists that you'd love to work with?
For now. Because I think the ones, we've worked with Jovial.
Okay.
We've worked with we've worked with Adasa. We have something coming up with another one that I won't mention.
Again, he's not going to mention it. It's fine.
But we'd really love to work with the team because she's been there. You understand? She understands music. So she's been there for long. So I think just because she's a legend and she's been there, and she understands music, I think we'd really love to work with the team.
Okay, lovely. Love to hear that. In future, right, if you were ever to do anything else apart from music, what would it be?
Music.
I think I'd be a politician.
A politician? I can already sense that in your answer.
I'd be a politician.
You're very diplomatic.
For real? Yeah. Me, I'd be a politician.
Okay.
Yeah, because me, I'm passionate about the youth, you understand, and I'm passionate about bringing change to the society and everything. So definitely I'd be a politician so that I can change a few things.
What would you change for the youth, especially?
For the youth.
In music.
In music.
Yes.
I think I'd create maybe some organization that taps talent.
Okay.
From the youth, like from where they are, get to mtaani. I'd create that.
Okay.
I'd create that. I'd create some organization that I'd also create some maybe somewhere for them to practice, something like the Kenya National Theatre.
I was actually going to get to that.
Recording studios.
It's interesting that you've mentioned that because a lot of the youngsters right now, they're self-made artists. They don't really go to school to to listen, to learn more about music, to get voice trained. Are you guys voice trained, or again, this is something that you just learned on the job?
No. We learned it along the way.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, we learned it along the way.
Would you like to go and learn maybe some classical music, or would you like to finesse your talent?
Why not? Why not? If the opportunity comes, to go and learn something, you take it.
Absolutely.
Because knowledge is. They say knowledge is key.
It's power.
Yeah, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power. 100%. That was powerful. Right. So
I sound like a politician.
Yeah, you really do. I really think that this is something that he wants to do. 2026.
2026. Alfajiri for president.
Alfajiri for president. I like that. I like that. We'll have a president who can actually sing. How cool is that?
It'd be so cool. It will be so cool.
Let's talk about now, you mentioned the youth, right? You mentioned that they need a platform where they can actually go and showcase their talent. Do you think that's missing? I know, we have institutes like Kenya National Theatre, for example.
PPMC, I think.
PPMC. Do you think that, this is something that the government really needs to focus on?
I think the problem is with the people they appoint.
Okay.
The people they appoint as the head of those organizations, because you'll find, for example, like someone who is managing the Kenya National Theatre. Sorry to say, you'll find that maybe it's someone who is 60 years old. So he doesn't understand what a 20-year-old might want. So I think they should just change the management. The structures are there. They just need the right people.
Right.
To be there to implement,
Absolutely. So, as we wrap up, any advice that you'd like to give to the youngsters out there, to your fans, people who have followed your journey along the way?
Yeah, just work hard. Just push. Nothing comes easy.
Nothing comes easy.
And then the last thing, we've released a song in it like you. So if you're there at home, enter YouTube, search Alfajiri. I think the name is somewhere down there.
Yes,
down there below. So just search Alfajiri. The spelling is right there. Like, subscribe, comment, and share. Alfajiri everywhere on all social media platforms.
All right, that's a wrap. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're going to end it on a musical note as we wind up and welcome our DJ Coljax, who will be taking us through 70s, 80s, 90s with disco funk. That's all from me right here in studio. Thank you so much for staying. KBC Channel 1. This is Easy Friday. Shiksha Arora signing out. Good night. So what are we listening to?
In song bed. Like you, the latest song,
Baby, I've never ever felt this, maybe. Baby, I'm so in love.